For part 2 in this series of the elevated loop, we ended up taking off the elevated section above the layout. It's just a lot easier to work on off the layout instead of on. So first I ended up getting this like trim from Home Depot. It's flexible, and we're gonna end up using this for the girder on the side there. So like Lauren ended up getting this self-adhesive off of Amazon, and then she ended up striping it down the sides and then putting the pieces in. So that's going to go along the side of the top of the layout of the elevated section over there. We still have to paint it. I mean, this is just the first stages of just putting the adhesive on. So we're going to paint it, and then we're going to glue it to the side and nail it to the side of that elevated loop over there. For the bridge section over here, I know in the video I had my tripod underneath it. I ended up reinforcing that with 2x2s. I got 2 of them underneath there. It's really strong now. And then the other smaller side over there, I ended up I just doubled it up because that side really wasn't sagging much. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a update of what's going on right now. The top part over here looks like a mess. I just have all my track and pieces over there. But we're finally starting to get somewhere now. After we do the painting, I'm gonna do all the wiring too before I put it back up on top of there, because it's pretty much impossible to do anything over there.
This is what I sprayed all the bridges with, this black flat spray paint. And then for the weathering, we're using this, and I'm using the orange brown 7981 and the light rust 7301. More of the orange brown and a little bit of the light rust mixed in, and the airbrush thinner and the airbrush machine to get it the right consistency to spray it on. This is one area of the girdered bridge where I just did a light coating of the rust colored paints to get a little bit of weathering on the sides. This is the other side where I haven't done the airbrushing yet, so you can see what the flat black paint looks like.
All right, so we got the upper loop back onto the layout. Lauren did a fantastic job weathering the girder. I think it turned out awesome. So here's just a look at what it looks like now. And everything is actually hooked up the way it's supposed to be now. Like before, whenever I did the last video, it was all just kind of set in there. I ended up attaching like the pieces between here. I got some brackets underneath. Some of the legs weren't in the whole way, so they're all attached now. But yeah, this is what it looks like on the layout, which I can't be happier. It blends in really well too with, I mean, before it kind of stood out with it just being the bare wood. And as you can see here, we did all the wiring too. Well, I did all the wiring on it. I got the cover on there now. That cover was off, but I ran the wires up through there. Got some Molex connectors. And before, like the track pieces, they were just, they were sitting in there, but they weren't, the loop was just powered by one power drop. So now I got all my loops in there, my drops. I got 3 drops on this part of the layout. Get you kind of a longer view. I mean, it's probably overkill. And then same thing here. So I ran a Molex connector here, so like whenever I can take these pieces out, and I ended up using dowel rods to help align it, and I just drilled holes through the top of the wood that sits in there. But now all the track is screwed down, everything's wired up, and Lauren started working on a little bit of a lake here, so that's gonna be the next, pretty much the rest of the video series is gonna be just doing this part over here, finishing this all up. And she got the top painted on here. She's got a mountain going in the back that she's been working on. But I'll show you guys how these actually work and how they sit down in. Like here's one of them right here. We got that all painted up. And then I just soldered to all the drops, and then there's the other one right there on that table. And the plan is to hang them right over here. So my plan is to put them under the layout there, and then just have them hooked to the top right there whenever they're not in use, because as I said before, this is a high traffic area for us walking through here. This is our laundry room in the back, so whenever the layout's not up in operation, these got to be taken out so we can get through here. Before, they were just, like I said, once everything is in, Lauren wasn't too happy. She had a duck underneath, or we had a duck underneath whenever I was running before, but all those issues are addressed now and taken care of. But I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update on what we got going on, and I'll show you what I have. I'm going to show you guys how these go in and out, how easy they are and how they connect up and everything. But so far, I mean, some of the connections, like right here, like where they do line up, they're not 100% even, so there's like a little bit of a bump, but they get through there fine. And this one, I actually had to put a piece of cardboard under it because it was a little bit too much of a bump. But one thing I will tell you guys to be careful about is, like, I thought doing the S-curve would be a cool idea here, but I have ran into a couple issues with a couple engines that kind of don't really like this S-curve. I don't know if it's by putting that little piece of a straight piece in the center there, as you can see, or if it's just the curve and then going into the other curve. But some of the engines don't really like it, unfortunately. But if it continues to be a problem, whenever I was at York, I actually saw a piece of flex track that I was going to get, but I didn't end up getting it. I might end up trying that and see if that helps, because then that'll eliminate all these joints and connectors right here. All right, so for instance, here's the top. The dowel rods, you just got to line it up, drop it in, and then plug the connectors in. And then this brings the power from across here to this side of the table. And then this side's the same way. It's just got the dowel rods with a little bit of a mount on the side to drop them in. You got the connector here to plug it in to get the power to the track, and then it completes the loop. The next thing that we're probably going to do is, the lighting over here is not that good, so I just ordered a light. I'm going to put a light in over here. Lauren's got to do more scenery work over here. So the next part of the video is mainly just going to be doing scenery. Construction of the top loop, it's completely done now. Everything's to where it should be. And like I mentioned, the only thing that might change is I might end up getting a piece of flex track and just swapping that out, but that's not going to be that hard to do. But if you guys have any questions about anything that I've done or any of the things that we did on this, just reach out and I'll try to answer the questions the best I can. But at the end of the video, I'm going to put some trains running on the upper loop, just showing you guys a couple different angles for now.
Calling black operator. How are we looking at the next interlocking, over? Roger that. Keep her rolling.